Hello guys, and welcome to a new Still Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 2 of a best of 3 between Chickendew and Gnef, and this is round 2 of the Great Paradox Tourney. So in the last game we saw Chickendew almost beat out Gnef with the 17th SS, however Gnef came on strong with the 2nd Infantry and definitely secured the day in the end. Destroying some of Chickendew's Stug 4s. But now we're looking at it from the other way around. Gnef is actually going to get his hands on his favoured 17th SS division against Chickendew's 2nd Armoured on Colleville this time around. So 2nd Armoured versus 17th SS Panzergrenadier. I'm not entirely sure how this matchup really works. I guess it depends on Gnef's smoke micro more than anything, with things like those Stosstroop, because he showed us on this map previously how well he could use Stosstroop in these orchard areas down on the bottom side of Colleville. However, what we might see is Chickendew really put the pressure on with M3A3 Stuarts and other vehicles like that at the start when Chickendew doesn't have too much to counter it. He will have, of course, the Stug 3, and he does have the Pack 40 at the start of the game, but aside from that, if RT comes in and takes out the Pack 40, for example, there's going to be places on the map where Stuarts can really show how good they can be against infantry. In the middle though, at the start, let's have a look at exactly what they are putting down. Looks like going to be some Nueve with the half-track M5A1 there, and we've got an M5 half-track with some voltages most likely, and the WC52 with the command infantry. There is an AT gun in the mid as well, AT gun on the top side with some spy and some more voltages, and another, well, with an MG there. And down on the far bottom side we do have a mortar with an MG. So I'm not quite sure how Chickendew is looking to play the bot side. Maybe he's just thinking, oh, I'll put a MG here and just spray down this tree line. But we'll definitely be able to find out, as we can see the unloaded position commands now. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. It's going to be jumping into this tree line, trying to secure his side of things there. On Gnef's side of things, it looks like it's going to be AT gun for the top side, Pack 38 with the Speertroop, Command Infantry, Stosstroop and a Panzergren. For the mid, Pack 40 with the Stosstroop and Command Infantry, Speertroop there as well. Looks like double Stosstroop heading to sort of mid area, and at the bottom, more Stosstroop with the Command Infantry, Panzergren and Pack 38. So Gnef really confident in his Stosstroop gameplay and being able to micro all of those Stosstroop effectively. So can we see that come to fruition in this game? Half tracks are going to be pretty difficult to deal with at a distance for those Stosstroop, but once they get close with the Panzerfaust, they're going to be making a lot of ground. 57mm, not quite in position to stop the Stosstroop from making that much ground. You can see they're smoked off straight away. Going to be the same down here, I would suppose. Allowing those Stosstroop to get right in the face of the voltages. The voltages just going to do a runner, as they do not want to get attacked by the Stosstroop at close range. However, Gnef is going to have to be careful. He doesn't want his Stosstroop to be hit by these M5 half tracks, and it doesn't look like they're going to be. I feel like these voltages maybe should have just gone for that engagement just to allow the half tracks to pin them down. But it seems as though Chickendew is just going to be a bit careful of taking that fight early on. And this has left a +1 for Gnef straight off the bat. So Gnef starting to count up points, even though not really any engagements have really occurred. These Stosstroop need to find their way into cover very soon, otherwise they're going to get absolutely destroyed once that smoke clears. Well, it seems they're just going to run their way into the orchard there, which is fair enough. Speertroop are opening up onto the voltages with their machine gun. Maybe they should be on return fire, because you don't really want them to be taken out by, for example, this mortar or any other fire support like these half tracks early on. And that could very easily happen if he's not too careful. Nueve finding their way to the edge of the tree line here, and at long range they're okay, 8 HE. However, the Panzergrenz have 11 HE. And that means that the Panzergrenz are going to win out that engagement, even with the Nueve's resilience there due to their veterancy. Panzergrenz on the bottom side are in a bit of a dodgy position. Not in any real cover really, light cover for them. And that could mean that they get pinned down by the 30 cal. Haven't taken any significant damage yet though. These Stosstroop are pinned and taken out by the voltages in the half-track. And if Chickendew starts to build up some of these half-tracks, it could make a lot of ground. The 81mm mortar has found its shots onto the Pak 40. Let's see if Chickendew can actually see that. He must have got line of sight somehow. Maybe it fired at one of his half-tracks initially, as it did just then, and that would obviously give the 81mm mortar the information it needed to get the kill. Nueve moving into this orchard now. Now Nueve are great for this sort of engagement because you can see the line of sight is just over 100 meters, about 150 meter engagement in an orchard, and that's good for like cleaning out things like Stosstroop because you can remain at that range and kite with the M1 Garands. The 81mm mortar is actually very close to taking out that Pak 40. If he sees that kill pop up, I would not be surprised to see Chickendew go very aggressive with his half-tracks. Currently, Nueve now opening up onto Stosstroop. Oh, they're going to get hammered. That is pinned down and surrendered very quickly there. Chickendew has to continue to do that in order to make ground. Stosstroop going to try and push across the open here. No smoke coming down, hasn't used a single one of their smoke grenades, and with the arrival of these command infantry, the Nueve are 3-star now, so that makes them a lot more effective at pinning down these squads, especially with the assistance of the 30 cal on the bottom side. The M5A1 is finding line of sight onto the spear troop, and the 81mm mortar is currently pinning the IG-18. However, Pak 38 is going to find a shot onto an M5 half-track. Can it kill off the M5A1 as well? We'll find out. Looks like Chickendew isn't going to let that happen. However, the Stosstroop can very easily run down here and get the 150 meter range Panzerfaust into that, pinning the voltages as well. Wow, fantastic job. Going to force those to surrender, no doubt. There we go. So a little bit of an engagement in the mid there. Well played by Gnef with his Stosstroop, keeping them in the smoke and really taking advantage of that in order to get the Panzerfaust on target. Same deal here, gets a Stosstroop close enough to pop the half-tracks. You could say that maybe it was a bit of a miss micro on Chickendew's part, allowing them to get that far up, but it seems as though the Pak 38 brought up behind definitely helped clean things up. Now there is an M8 Spy here with the M3A3. This is definitely going to rely on the 81mm mortar killing off the Pak 40, like I said previously. However, even with that dead, there is going to be a crossfire from the Pak 38 on the top side and on the bottom side here. IG-18 has been brought up to the bottom here, but the 81mm mortar going to be opening up. And that's going to have a go at the M8 Spy, but M8 Spy can probably play up quite a bit here. I'm not sure though if Chickendew has spotted this Pak 38 yet, and if he hasn't, that could maybe mean that the M8 Spy gets taken out by it, which could be quite dreadful in the long run. But a +1 still for Gnef at this point in the game, 47% territory for Chickendew. He's got a lot of ground to make in order to start coming back in this game. And it looks like he's going to be going for it in the bottom side. 2 more Voltager squads with the half-tracks coming up. He's got the M8 Spy pushing forwards. Another one joining him as well there. It's going to be quite a concerted effort. M16 going to be joining him down there as well. Mortar fire still coming in. And the Nueve and the 30 cal can easily pin down the Pak 38 very quickly. It's just a matter of whether or not this Pak 38 reveals itself by killing either a half-track or one of the M8 Spies. Ideally, Chickendew wants it to shoot at a half-track burst, so maybe he'll lead the charge with those before he moves up the rest of his forces. But at the moment, this is looking like a juicy bombing strike for a Ju-87 or something, but I doubt that Gnef is going to be relying on those early on in the game. He's more likely to try and ambush this force that's coming in on the bottom side, especially considering he's decided to bring in the Stug 3 here and has got line of sight towards this road. It seems as though the Pak-38 found a shot onto the M3A3 Stuart. That is incredible. Really, really well done. 81mm mortar though, going to start pinning that down almost immediately, and the Gnef going to be trying the same deal. Wow. Of all of the shots that Pak-38 could make, that was probably the best one. The M3A3 going down there. The M8 Spies still present quite a threat with their 50 cal and 30 cal, but that M3A3 was the command for the majority of Chickendew's units. Panzergrenadier there, going to be engaging at range. Gnef also engaging Stosstroop at range here. Oh no. Nebelwerfer 41. Perfect timing. Absolutely smashes the M5 half-tracks and the M8 Spy there. It's got to be careful not to allow the IG-18 to just start opening up, and it looks like the 30 cal plus the 50 cals of the M8 will take care of that. Gnef just went a little bit too far there and have been surrounded. Multiple units of Panzergrans with the Stosstroop going to be slaughtering those poor Frenchmen in the bottom orchard there. Going down and sleeping with the rotting apples. What a fate. Either way, looks like a change of tack with the Nebelwerfer moving in on this bottom side. All of these half-tracks are now being told to move to the top side, I believe, with the M10, M16 and M8 Spy there. Is that what's going to happen with all of these half-tracks, I wonder? Or is he just going to go for a two-pronged attack? Maybe what he's looking for is, since the Nebelwerfer has come in, he doesn't want to like have to keep charging into that, so he's decided to go elsewhere. Yeah, it looks like slowly but surely a lot of these half-tracks are being sent over to the other side of the map to make a push over there. But that will require him to find and take out the Pak-38 like he did the Pak-40, and that Pak-40 is dead now. The only issue with removing all of your resources down here is if Gnef can see it, Gnef will take advantage. The command is dead on this bottom side, and from Gnef's point of view, he will be able to see that due to the M5 half-track not having any command, the 30 cal not having any command, and even these voltages coming up and not having any command either. So that's a big deal. However, M5 half-track has got the line of sight onto the Stosstroop here. Voltages do have line of sight onto these Stosstroop, and looks like a couple of those will go down before they can cross the open. Pak-38, very close range, takes out that half-track, forces it to be bailed out, now falls back, and yeah, that's going to be dead very shortly. Flak-filling also joining up now, and that's actually got line of sight onto the 30 cal. That 30 cal is going to be ripped to shreds. This Flak-filling also ripping the voltages a new one as the Stosstroop move up into that position. It's a nice job by Gnef using Flak-fillings as direct infantry support. Maintains his +1 in the game so far. So the Nebelwerfer is reloaded, almost ready to fire again, and it looks like as soon as the Nebelwerfer is reloaded, he's going to be using that to make some more ground. Stosstroop have managed to push all the way up, voltages revealing themselves in this tree line. Oh, that Nebelwerfer coming right on top of these half-tracks. Again, removing all of the resources down here and pushing them to the top side is great and all, but you got to start making ground, otherwise Gnef is just going to take complete advantage of it, especially considering, like I said, he saw most of it leave, which is quite a big mistake from Chickendew for allowing that to happen. You know, yeah, sort of fake a fall back and then move some of the resources elsewhere, but if you move too many, it's going to bite you, and that's exactly what's happened. Gnef here now making ground with these Panzergrans, just running across the open. There's not too much to stop him other than maybe this M5 half-track here in front of the AT gun, but it's only going to take another Nebelwerfer strike to remove that threat. And there's also a 232 on the way now, which is great for just picking off these M5 half-tracks. However, it seems that the Stoss Troop are going to do that job first, as they find the kill onto one. Can they force these sappers to surrender? That would be incredible. Blackvilling absolutely wrecking the voltages there. And with these sappers continuing to fall back, oh, that's going to be a double surrender. Oh, savage. 2 units of sappers surrendering to 1 man just because they got slightly low on morale due to that Nebelwerfer strike. Incredible. That is really going to affect the availability of infantry for the second armoured player here. Chickendew just going to be in a bad spot. The M4A3, that's in a nice spot to take out the Pak 38 though, and if he gets that kill, that will open up the top side quite nicely. Both of the M8 Spy is still alive, accompanied by an M10. Another M4A3 is arriving, but there is a 2-star Marder 3 on the side of Gnef, and that definitely has the penetration to take out an M4A3, although it looks like it's gone for the weapon damage there onto the M8, trying to pick up the soft targets. Can the M10, as well as the M4A3s, force that Marder 3 to fall back? Because that's what he's looking for here. That's what he has to do. Otherwise, he's going to be in a bit of a bad situation. And he has just about managed it. Looks like the Stug 3, that's got a driver wounded. M8 Spy going for the shot there. M10 also needs to help out. Otherwise, that Stug 3 is going to find more shots onto these vehicles. So far, quite nicely done from Chickendew on the top side. M5A1 pushing up with some voltages. Some voltages pushing down here with the 30 cal. But a second Marder 3 is on the field, and it's only a matter of time really until both of these Marder 3s get on target and start killing things. Even with actually the Stug going down there, but the voltages, they've got very close to this Marder 3, and that is dangerous. That is a surrender as the Panzergrenadier are pinned down. Fantastic job by Chickendew bringing back the top side. Bottom side's in a bit of disarray as another Nebelwerfer strike did come in by the looks of things onto the 57mm autocannon, but that 57mm did find the shot onto the 232, so it's just a couple of Panzergrenadiers here now beating onto some voltages and the half-tracks. This half-track needs to get into line of sight ASAP, otherwise these Panzergrenadiers are going to just take over that bottom side. But with the Marder 3 being surrendered there, that is massive, and also the Stug going down as well. So with the smoke dissipating here, that's going to reveal the Marder 3. That Marder 3 is going to one-shot an M8 Spy. Can they return the kill? They need to. They need to find that kill onto the Marder 3, although it seems though the Panzergrenadier have smoked it off once again. Fantastic micro from the Panzergrenadier and Gnef here. Oh, just so well done. I'm just going to fall back those Panzergrenadier now. They've done their job. They used their smoke effectively. They just got to get out of there because that is a lot of 50 cals coming down. So, still a +1 for Gnef at this point, even though the breakthrough is happening on this top side. Chickendew needs to try and prevent this +1 by removing these 2 units of Panzergrenadiers here. But it looks like Gnef is going to reinforce the bottom side and just remain defensive on the top side. He's brought up a Panzer 4H alongside 2 more Stoss Troop and a Panzergrenadier. Going to try and definitely secure the bottom side whilst Chickendew tries to move through the top side. And I really like that Chickendew tried to play around the mobility of his units by, you know, shifting a lot of them from the bottom to the top. But I feel like that did leave a hole that Gnef has exploited quite a lot down here. So now we're just looking at what this Marder 3 is going to do, and I feel like he's looking to almost engage any units that come downwards a little bit one by one, because he's got a really nice line of sight. That means that if any of these tanks slightly stray downwards, they're going to come into, you know, line of sight this Marder 3, like the M8 Spy here. And it's going to take the Marder 3 a little bit of time to aim on target, although less so for the M8 Spy, and the M8 Spy is going to pick up the kill there with the 3-star veterancy. Does the job indeed. Okay, so that's, with that last threat going down there, that's left a massive hole in this top side. However, Ju-87s are arriving. AA is just about there, and alongside the 50 cal is going to be forcing both of those to fall back. Spitfire has been brought out. Might be able to shoot down one of them before they get out, but I feel like the Ju-87s will have been evacuating for long enough for them to get out. So in the bottom side, AT gun goes down. A lot of ground being made here for Gnef. 51% territory lead though for Chickendew, as he has broken through completely on this top side. Fantastic use of the Phase B of the French. This is where I often say the French really come into their full form. In Phase A, they have their light armor, and they can play around that quite a lot with their half-tracks. But when you move into Phase B and you start to get your hands on some of these more elite units, like the M4A2 Command and whatever else. I was going to say the other Shermans, but he hasn't used any of the elite Shermans. He's actually just used the M4A3s and the M10s. But still, once you get more of your armor in, you can really make these very good pushes into the top side. And 56% territory for Chickendew. He's got to maintain it though. He really has. As in this bottom side, things are getting a bit risky, and honestly Gnef could do the opposite and just break through on that side. Voltages are being hit by the IG-18 there, and that's a little bit of a trouble. However, the M4A3 going to remove that as a threat, and even more ground going in favour of Chickendew. He's got to find that +2 if he really wants to come back in this game. He is going to win in 21 minutes with just a +1, but a +2 would mean that he makes enough points that it's going to be harder for Gnef to come back himself, and also allows Chickendew to make his lead, you know, better, quicker. Nebelver for 42 coming down on top of both of those sappers in the bottom side, and it looks like Chickendew is desperate to try and reinforce here and stop the land coming back for Gnef. And of course that is to be expected. Panzergrenz though are pinning the 57mm AT gun there. Voltage is going to be finding the engagement against the speed troop. Alongside the M4A3, those speed troop don't really stand a chance. Those sappers though still pinned down, and it looks like the Stoss troop are just going to be used there to surrender them. Nope, maybe not. Just going to ignore them. They're going to start to fall back, and the Stoss troop are going to try and secure this road. So 53% now for Chickendew. The spear troop have been taken out on this top side, and the map is just completely skewed at the moment. Gnef making a lot of ground on the bottom side, Chickendew making a lot of ground on the top side. An absolutely fantastic game so far. That Befehl Panzer IV nearly got a shot onto the M20 command there, but it just about managed to hide behind the building before it got killed. Flakflings are now pinning down the Nueve and the Voltages in this tree line, and the Panzerguns are going to just charge those down. So how can Chickendew like basically sort out this bottom side? I would assume it would be something like just like a 2-star Sherman or something, coming up and getting a close range engagement with the Panzer IV. That would definitely work out quite nicely, because with that Panzer IV out the way, there's not actually too much here to stop a tank from preventing this infantry, but it seems as though Chickendew has just continued here through to the land spawn at the top, and that's just going to mean that every single reinforcement that Gnef brings in is going to have to be from this reinforcement point in the bottom right. And I guess that's quite nice for Chickendew, because he's going to be safe in knowing that all of the reinforcements are coming in from down here now, except he doesn't want an M8 Spy to bump into a Stug 4. Fantastic game though, this really is. Befehl Panzer IV gonna be looking to hit the sappers in the bottom side by the looks of things. Panzergrenz though are just gonna keep running forwards. Can they get the pin? I love it when it's just like a couple of dudes running forwards, just asking for the surrender, and yeah, all of the sappers just gonna be like, yep, sure, we give up. That's unfortunate. So here comes the M4A376 with another M20. If that can find the close range engagement onto the Befehl Panzer IV, that would be fantastic, and would definitely help things out. But these Stoss troop have cut off all of Chickendew's forces. This is a big deal, because a lot of these units now, if they get forced to fall back, are going to be in terrible position. That PaK-38 also breaks the tracks of the M4A3. That is big. So what Chickendew needs to do is remove this Stoss troop squad as soon as possible. Otherwise, he's going to be in trouble. A lot of trouble. Because +1 now in favour of Gnef. It looks like transmission damage for the Befehlspanzer IV here. This M4A3 needs to find another shot in order to finish that off. He will likely find it. Is that on an attack move? It is. But it seems as though the Befehlspanzer IV is just being microed very nicely. Not in line of sight. Okay, here we go. Aim time for that Sherman is so damn quick, and the Panzer IV is going to go down. Nebelwerfer is going to smash the M4A3, and these Stosstroop have moved forwards, which I feel like is quite a mistake for Gnef. Like, if he's cutting off all of these forces, why would you sacrifice the unit that's doing so? To me, that's a little bit odd, unless it's a bit of a miss micro, or maybe he just got a bit greedy trying to take out the AT gun. He did manage to pin down or kill off the AT gun, but got his Stosstroop pinned down in the process, and that's going to give the +1 back to Chickendew. However, this time round, it's not going to be a victory for Chickendew in the 16 minutes remaining. It's actually going to be a draw, which is a problem. You probably want one or the other to win, and yeah, currently Chickendew is going to have to make +2 in order to make this work. Pack 43 shows itself in the mid, finishes off the M4A3 there. And, oh, Ju-87 comes in and annihilates a Sherman on this top side. Now, with that Sherman gone, that allows the Stug 3 to roll up onto this M4A3 and possibly get the kill there quite convincingly. There's also another Pack 43 on its way to the bottom side, which could very well deal with the M4A3. And these Pack 43s, just like Flak 88, only really have to score one tank kill in order to pay themselves off. But there's a second for that Pack 43 in the mid as he destroys an M4A3. And things aren't really looking good for Chickendew, honestly, because the Stug 4s that Gnef can bring in can counter pretty much all of this force on the top side. The M10 doesn't really have enough AP to penetrate a Stug 4 convincingly. However, Stug 4 does have enough to penetrate the M10. And that's basically what's going to happen. That Stug 4 also one-banging the M4A3. It looks like it was a side armor shot though, which would make more sense. So it's only a matter of time until Gnef really cleans up this top side, and if Gnef pushes it to a 50-50, that's going to be his victory at the end of the day. But just because these guys are so far up, it leaves them very unsupported, and that showed as soon as the Ju-87 came in and picked up that kill onto the Sherman. And here again, the M10 going to go down. We're going to see the half track get killed off there, and this is just ground starting to be made back by Gnef. Now this Pack 43 it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I'd like to start to see that moving, because that's quite a lot of points invested for nothing at the moment. But either way, flak filling in the mid, going to be absolutely hammering the Nueve. The Nueve though, oh, I don't know. I thought that the Nueve would just end up coming back from their pin and kill off the flak filling nice and quickly. It looks like the 30 mil or 30 cal will be able to do that anyway. Just kill off that flak filling. And the Nebelwerfer almost killing off the friendly flak filling. So yeah, still +1 for Chickendew. He's approaching 500 points. M7 Priest has been brought onto the field in order to RT some infantry in the bottom side. And there's also a double Spitfire run coming in. It seems as though Chickendew has spotted a Nebelwerfer 42 here. There we go, he can see it. He's going to go for the run onto it. Try and do as much damage as possible. Got to be very careful though about getting too close to the enemy air spawn, as that will lead to ME109 just coming out of the spawn and shooting you down very, very quickly. But not going to happen this time round. Sappers are falling back behind the tree line there, however have moved themselves into line of sight of the Panzer IV, which is definitely going to lead to them being pinned down. More damage coming down onto the Nebelwerfer 42, that's not firing anytime soon. M4A376 is currently slamming the flagvilling down there. And an M5A1 half-track should do the job. Back 43 revealing itself as it fires at the M20. Will Chickendew aim at that with his M7, I wonder? I'm not entirely sure, but 52% territory for Chickendew currently. But more units just slowly being taken out on this top side, and honestly, as long as Gnef, leaves his units here and continues to control it, once he's cleaned up the top side, he's actually going to be at a +1, maybe even a +2. Like, taking out these voltages and the M5 half-track there, it's going to probably lead to at least Gnef's +1 again, and that's going to leave Chickendew in a pretty bad spot, as there won't be much coming back from that. Especially, a Phase C French division, that's not too great. Now, with these Spitfires using up the majority of the ammunition, it looks like the Focke-Wulf managed to get onto the back of one of the Spitfires and shoot it down. The second one got away. 30 cows, or 50 cows, sorry, going to be able to force that Focke-Wulf back. Actually did quite a lot of damage to it, causing the oil leak there. But this Spitfire is more worried about the Ju-87 as that comes in to clean up the half-track there nice and quick. So the Ju-87 going to be forced to fall back. Same with the Spitfire as the SD KFZ-71 comes in there. Voltages taken out on the top side, now 54% for Gnef and growing, with those voltages going down a little bit more ground, and if this M4A3 dies, that's going to be even more ground. And yeah, you can hit, but that's 13 AP against 12 armor. Now it is within 1000 meter range, so the AP is probably about 15. Still a relatively low chance of penetration. You can see the same is for the Stug 4s. However, that's going to be a traded kill. Stug 4 for M4A3. Still not good for Chickendew though, as he loses a lot of ground in the process. M4A2 has been brought up to reinforce, but again, M4A2 against the Stug 4, I still feel like the Stug 4 is going to win, especially if there's a Panzer 4 there as well. Like, I'm pretty sure Gnef would be happy to trade 1 for 1 here, and keep one of his tanks alive to continue pushing forwards and gain the +1 or +2. So yeah, things aren't looking great. Chickendew's actually going to fall back with that M4A2, and that's just actually going to lead to Gnef's +2 anyway. So that's interesting. Maybe you should have just kept it there. Maybe got an ambushing shot off or something at close range. Might have worked out. Or maybe he's even waiting for the M4A3 76mm to join him and then go for the engagement again. But either way, 9 minutes and 30 seconds until Gnef's victory, and Chickendew's going to have a lot of work to do if he wants to secure his own victory. Or Panzer IV gets the tracks broken onto the Sherman, and the Ju-87 comes in and cleans it up. +2 for Gnef, and I'm pretty sure that is just going to secure the rest of this game. Oh, another infantry squad going down there, and the half-track. Loads of ground. We're up to 63% for Gnef, and what a fantastic effort this has been by Chickendew with his 2nd Armoured Division. And the French really coming out to play in this one, but it's just not quite paying off, as I feel like he just spread himself a little bit too thin as he continued up, allowed those planes to come in and just pick him off, and without the AA there anymore, things just kind of went to hell. Stug 4s as well, rolling up. You really need the firepower on target, and they have it. A minor defeat for Chickendew after 31 minutes and 23 seconds. So Gnef proving their 2,700 kills to 1,895 losses. That he is the better player in this respect, and really, really well played by both players. I mean, fantastic job. That does mean that Gnef is going to move on to round 3 of the Great Paradox Tourney. And I wasn't wrong when I said these games were going to get better. They most certainly have. And that was just a fantastic series. 2-0 to Gnef in the end, though. So if we look at these kills, we do see that the voltages did match up quite well to the Stoss troop at certain ranges. loads of Starship going down to voltages early on, and that's quite a nice trade, honestly. If you take out some Starship with the voltages, that's quite good. Looks like the 81mm mortar, did take out the Pak 40 in the mid, but that wasn't really exploited very much because of the Pak 38s on both sides providing the crossfire. M10 came in, took out the Stug 3, and we saw the M4A3 take out the Pak 38, and this was on the top side. Like, because earlier on, very early in the game, Gnef had the +1 and was making a lot of ground with his Starship. But then what happened was the M4A3 came in with the M10, the Chickendew changed tack entirely, pushed the top side, and it really caught Gnef off guard. However, Gnef realised that quite early on and started pushing on the bottom side beforehand, and that allowed him to maintain enough ground in order to push back on the top side later in the game when the second armoured French division is actually a lot weaker. So I think just fantastic play by both players. It really you saw the French just do so well in Phase B, and then Gnef kind of capitalised on the weaker Phase C, especially when the French are so overextended like that. But that's about it, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this series between Gnef and Chickendew. It's been great. This second game, absolutely fantastic, and I hope to see more like this as we continue with the Great Paradox Tourney. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.